Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
What?
Oh my god! Oh my god, that was close. Mara! Oh no! What is that?
Oh my god, are you okay?
Mara, what channel is the stream on?
Mine!
I told you you would like it.
That's what we were kind of waiting for, basically, to get that clip working so I could upload it onto StreamYard so I could have my own version of the what channel is it on? That question I get every week, pretty much.
We need those robots, okay?
Yeah.
Those are our friendship robots. We need those robots.
If I get one of those, like we each get one of those, I'm getting like that special jail thing for yours. And I was like, I'll warn you, knowing that you are behind it, I will walk around my room naked.
You are free to roam about my home. You probably just hang out with my dogs.
Probably, yes. It's like, okay, I'll say like, hi, Steph. Bye, Steph. Come here, Poochie. Come here, Doogie.
You probably just hang out with them. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we have a little friend bot on every stream. I wanted to make sure that I had like a different one for Mara. And when I saw the one where she falls down the stairs, I was like, yep, that's mine.
Oh, I gotta tell you, well, real fast, because I like, yes, it's from the like site Temu, basically, because they can have some good stuff, basically. But I saw a tank. If you look for it, you should get it or find it somewhere, because it said, "Hey is my spirit animal."
Oh,
I was like, that is Steph.
That's me. Hey.
And speaking of like spirit animals, Mike Hill in the chat? Yes, he is, basically, because he gifted me two things. I didn't have a chance to thank you for the second thing, basically. One was the Death Note mini poster, the Death Note rules, basically, mini poster. And the second one was that Stitch Lego that I had on my throne, basically. So I will have the Stitch Lego. Yes. So speaking of spirit animals, and that was like a couple of the tanks, like, tank tops I got, or shirts I got from Temu. One was like, don't touch me or I'll bite. It's like,
I thought it said touch me and I'll bite.
No, don't touch me or I'll bite or something like that. It's like Stitch angry face on it, and it's like I'll have those days where it'd be just one of those moods, basically. But welcome, chat. Welcome, everyone. We are here to talk, basically, the week in pop culture, or some of the pop culture news. Some of which, Steph can talk about, some of which I can talk about, because she saw, well, of the two movies I know she saw, basically, one was Jurassic World Rebirth, so she can talk about her impressions of that movie. I did not watch that. I have a few Superman articles to go over, because at least some initial, I guess, reactions from reviews, at least that have been leaked on social media before the embargo, is that it's not, the Superman movie's not that good. But, but then again, like, some people like it, so I don't know. But we'll see. We'll talk about that. David Cornswait.
Corn sweat, not sweat.
I don't fucking care at this point. He says right here, refrains from using the American way in reference to Superman's values. Says there's a third side to the hero in the film. We haven't figured out what to call him yet. How about Man of Steel? Superman. Fucking superhero.
That goes in line with this article that came out. Was it today? Hold on, let me.
It might have been today. And then we have like the Jurassic World Rebirth, at least the box office debut. The records, it kind of, not records, but it kind of smashed box office projections. And a little bit of Five Nights at Freddy's news, a little bit like, I guess, early reactions, test screenings have been positive for the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie, as well as a cast announcement that's kind of basically a mini Scream reunion of sorts, basically, which I found. And if we get to this, there is a Rings of Power article that I want to rake over the coals, basically, because
why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. I just have to, basically. It's like one of those where it's like you wake up and choose violence. So you pick the proverbial whipping boy, and it's a Screen Rant article. I also Michael also tagged me in a clip that was officially released. I'll most likely get copyright hits or claimed or whatever on this stream, by playing it, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyway. Of like scene from the new Fantastic Four movie, basically. So I've not watched it. I was just tagged in it and bookmarked. So we'll watch it together, chat. We'll watch it together. But before I say hello to the chat, Steph,
Yeah.
let everybody know where they can find you and what you've been doing.
My nerdy home everywhere. I've been putting off reviewing the last 3 episodes of Ironheart. So I was thinking about doing episodes 4 and 5 together as one video, and then episode 6 overall thoughts and the finale episode. So those 2 videos will come out. My review for Superman will also be out this week because I see it on Tuesday. So yeah, that will be out on Tuesday. That will for sure be out on Tuesday once I'm out of the theater. And when I get home, I'm gonna just upload a video right away with my thoughts on that. So that should be fun. That should be fun. Other than that, nerdy news this week, and then some gaming streams because I need to practice Mario Kart World. All right, so I'm gonna do some gaming streams with the chat this week. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Why am I saying it like we're done with the stream? We just barely started.
We haven't even started yet.
I know. I'm like, see you guys later. Bye.
That's what it sounds like, basically. Yeah, go ahead and do your outro. I'm done. Like, you can find me. I'm not going to see the Superman movie, at least not in theaters. I've told the chat basically. So once the Jack Sparrow copy is available, I'm going to be watching that. When it could be available before Friday. I might be able to watch it before Friday, but I'm not going to really talk about it until after basically officially drops. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't have to work. Tony says the review embargo for Superman lifts 3 days before the official. I don't have a review embargo on me. I can say whatever I want after that. Putting it out there.
Plus, you're seeing it on Tuesday, so technically that's the end of the embargo. So you can say whatever you want then. That's
sweet.
July 8th is the end of the embargo. So
it took me forever to get those tickets too, because I was in Hawaii, and then Gary was like, "Hey, they're available. The tickets for like the Amazon Prime ones." And yeah, that legitimate. You remember when there like false report that came out that like Fantastic Four crashed Fandango and Web? Yeah, that was dumb. Like 2 people had issues. This was a legitimate problem. I could not get my tickets until like hours after they went live, and thank goodness I'm going by myself. I was able to find like one lone seat in a packed theater, and it's not like in the very first 3 rows. It's a ways back, so nice. Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I generally sit towards the back anyway, basically.
Yeah, so do I. So I was just like, okay, it's like in the back to like the left-hand side around there, so it's fine. As long as I'm like away from it and I'm not looking at the movie like this. I have seen one movie where I have legitimately sat in the front row of the theater. One movie. I've only been in the front row for one movie, and I went there against my will. My parents, like, they love Independence Day, and the new Independence Day Resurgence
the second one,
yeah.
Oh,
and they're like, "You want to go?" I was like, "No, I don't want to go." And they're like, "Come on, this movie is great." So it was like me and my parents, and I think like one of my brother's kids, I don't remember which one, but they don't order their tickets online, they don't do anything like that. So we went to the theater, and the only ones that were available were the ones in the front row. And my dad was like, "I really want to see this movie. I want to see." I was like, "Okay, fine." So we sat in the front row, and I was just like, "This is a terrible movie," and my neck hurts. Like,
just out of curiosity, what did they think about the sequel? Because I just did a watch party of the first Independence Day movie, and
they didn't like it. They loved the first movie. They didn't like the second one.
Yeah. That's like the overall impressions I was getting from anybody who watched Resurgence. I caught the end of Resurgence when it was on TV, and I just like couldn't help but laugh. Where all this like debris was falling from like these like blown up alien craft and things like that. And I'm like, and no one got hurt. Like no one's getting hurt. No, like at least in like the first Independence Day when like like that's all going down, the shit's going down. People were like getting fucked up trying to get into like the underground area. Basically, like people were getting hurt. People were getting killed. So at least they showed that. Resurgence, like nah, like it just missed every single one.
What's funny about that movie is that they thought it was gonna do great because it sets up like a third movie.
Nah.
they thought people are gonna love this. They're gonna want, because like at the very end they're like, "Let's take the fight to them," and it was like, "Yeah, we can do it." Everybody stands up tall. We're gonna take the fight to them. Let's go. No,
No.
Nothing ever came from that.
Yeah, it's like, nah, I'm good. You can go. I'm like, that's like everyone I like talked to who saw the movie was like, it's shit.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So it's like we were talking last night, like if they were going to do an Independence Day sequel, and I'll get to saying hello to the chat, then it should have been like within like the first like the few years or so after the first Independence Day, basically, not 20 years later, where people were like, why are you dropping a sequel now? Basically, like, sets up with the characters that we don't care about. For the most part, basically, like, it's like, the son of Will Smith or the stepson of Will Smith's character, something like that, who was like, just a 5-year-old boy or something in the first movie. I'm like, yeah, we have no connection to this character. So why are you doing this? You should have done it like within like 5 years of the first Independence Day, if you're going to do a sequel. But Trey, good to see you. What's up? Yeah, this is my PayPal, but I have the Gronk Squad channel pinned because they're trying to reach 500 subs. They're at 358. So if you have not subbed to that channel, they're going to be dropping a premiere. Do I have it up? Hold on. They're dropping a premiere at 9 p.m. So in about 10 minutes. I'm not saying like, like leave this stream and go watch it basically, but they drop like premiere videos. They do live streams over there. And if you like watching everyone, guys with all the tisms, do gaming streams basically, or watch premieres like super cuts from one. They do gaming streams. Go check them out. So they're trying to get monetized over there. So very much appreciate if you support them. Anthony Wade, I don't know what was happening on your chat basically, or in your stream. Because let's go on a carpet ride. It's going to be fun. Love of God, don't drop your candy wrapper. Was that a reference to your stream?
No.
Okay, I just don't know.
Carpet ride. A carpet ride.
I don't know. It's going to be.
Don't drop your candy wrapper is for Jurassic World.
Okay, maybe it's that, and you can explain that.
That's what frees all the dinosaurs is a Snickers bar candy wrapper. So
they were hungry. You're not yourself when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers, basically.
The guy ate a Snickers.
If you think about it, eating a male human is like eating Snickers because Snickers have nuts. So, I'm just saying. Toss D Rex of Snickers. Gary's like, talk chubby. Hashtag chubby. Shaluk, what is up? Last Toxic Male. Also, shout out to Backshots. Maz's mom loves him. I'm sure she does. Bradley Scott, what is up? Wiley Dave, good to see you. Oh, did you get that big gremlin that was sent to you? That's that you're supposed to send to me.
Oh yeah. I haven't been to my PO box. I'm going tomorrow, 100%. I was supposed to go this past week, and I wasn't able to make it over there. Okay. So yeah, I'm going tomorrow. I made plans to go tomorrow. I didn't make plans, but that's when I plan on going.
This is the Gronk Squad channel. If you haven't subbed over there, I appreciate it if you do. Like I said, if you watch all the tisms, there you go. Mike Hill, hello, and thank you again for the throne gifts. I look forward to putting the Stitch Lego set together. Psychotic Mongoose, what is up? Thank you, Mr. Tex. Gifted a sub to, I saw earlier, membership to Tazran. Very much appreciate Mr. Tex. Good to see you. Capinova, hello.
Jonathan Bailey. Where's he from? Oh.
I'm going to call you Youthful Eagle. Tony, hello. Good to see you.
What's up, Tony?
I did not lose my PC again. We were getting that clip ready. Tara Crystal, what is up? Tommy Doyle, hello. Movie trivia, that dress that Betty Davis is wearing was actually orange. Orange showed up black on monochrome film. Yeah, if you actually look at colorized versions of movies, what shows up as black or what close to black in some films is actually like a dark red or an orange or things like that, which is fascinating to watch. I tan very easily. All I have to do is walk outside. I go for a walk basically, and I come back looking like I've been lying out in the sun for 30 minutes at least.
Nice. No, do you tan or do you burn?
I tan. I've burned maybe twice in my entire life. Because once I fell asleep on the beach and no one decided to wake me up. So I got sunburn on my back. And then when I was in Guam, deployed to Guam, I got a sunburn on my shoulders basically because I was like standing in in the water basically, like we were like hanging out at the beach, and I got like sunburned like right here, upper part of my back and shoulders. That was fun.
I thought I was gonna
Oh,
get a lot
true.
darker than I did when I went on vacation. I was hoping to like be a nice darker brown, like golden. I didn't get golden brown. It was cloudy. Oh, really quickly, it is raining. It's like storming outside.
Okay.
I let the other stream know. I'm gonna let you know just in case my power goes out because it's been raining hard.
Let's see. Tony says the only movie currently worth watching in theaters is F1.
Yes, that movie is great. I went and saw that at the theater. Saw Jurassic World Rebirth at home. That one I went to the theater for. That was great. And I didn't watch I have no interest in movies like that. My interest isn't as big as other movies. I didn't go see Ford versus Ferrari or I haven't seen Baby Driver or what's that other one?
I was telling my chat last night, where it's I've played maybe a couple racing games basically, but never really been into going to movies where it's the focus is driving anything or anything. So
the only ones that I like is are the Fast and Furious movies. Those are the only ones that I'll watch. What's the other one where it was the video game movie?
Oh, Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. I didn't see that one either, but I mean I've heard those are good movies, but I didn't care to go and see them. This one I went and watched, and I was glued. I was glued to the screen the entire time. It was so good. I loved it.
I still might wait until it's on streaming because, like I said, I don't know, time and just little desire to see it. But I'll at some point I will watch these movies. I just don't have any inclination to watch them once when they come out, basically either Rush or Gran Turismo or F1. Mike Noss says I don't even know if I want to watch Jurassic World. Maybe when it comes to streaming. I don't even think, like I said, I haven't even watched really the first one. The only thing I really watched in the first one was the end, basically the fight with the Tyrannosaurus and Velociraptor somehow teaming up with against the Indominus Rex, basically.
Did you say the Transformer?
No, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh,
and Velociraptor.
I thought you said the Transformer, and I was like, wait, what?
Made the movie more entertaining if there were Dinobots in that movie. That would have been entertainment.
I was like, Mara, you watched the wrong movie.
I'm pretty sure I can figure out the difference between Transformers and dinosaurs. Despite the fact that I have,
he's holding a grudge against Jurassic World this whole time.
Dinobot right there.
Because of the Transformers in it.
Wait a minute. I didn't know Michael Bay directed a Jurassic World movie.
Transformers, the worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, but that's the end part that the end part is what I watched, and
I want Jurassic Park, Fast and Furious. Give me Dominic Toretto on the back of a T-Rex, or using a Brachiosaurus as
he do that?
Off point. Just
doesn't Vin Diesel do that in the new Ark Survival game? Because I think Vin Diesel is like his likeness or something like that is part of the new Ark Survival game. And he rides a T-Rex. They ride dinosaurs. You can you play that game and play as Vin Diesel and ride a T-Rex. What? I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah.
I need to look. That
they're saying basically he can ride. He can ride a T-Rex as Vin Diesel in the Ark Survival, the new Ark Survival game.
That's great. I want to play that game. I don't even know what it is, but if you can be Vin Diesel riding a dinosaur, that's as close as a Jurassic Park Fast and Furious crossover as I'm gonna get.
I said you literally said that, and I was like, oh my god, I could swear I saw Vin Diesel riding a T-Rex in the trailer for that.
I think it's been a meme for a while. Go with Fast and Furious, go back in time, where with the dinosaurs, just do it.
Yeah. My new Discord watch parties. I did a double feature yesterday where we watched Independence Day and Jaws, even though it was the day after July 4th. Those are July 4th movies. So yeah. This is right here. Making sure I don't miss anyone. I am going when I'm watching Superman with like zero expectations. I have a lot that I'm worrying about with that movie. I would like to be proven wrong, but I feel like deep down in my gut I'm going to be proven right. I don't know. If I miss anyone, I do apologize. You kill. Is this a line from the movie? You kill them from behind. Is that a line from Jurassic World, or is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You kill them from behind.
I'm catching up with the chat, so I have no idea what we were saying. Basically,
I don't know.
is that a new Independence Day movie? I don't know.
Oh, that's from the Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm like looking
Yeah.
at the other chats. I'm like, oh, okay, that's when we were talking about Independence Day.
Yeah, you kill them from behind.
Yeah. So Backshots basically wins the day in the new Independence Day movie. If I missed someone again, I do apologize. Calix, what is up? I think so. I think like part of it is my Middle Eastern heritage. Maybe some resistance to the sun. Like I said, I've burned maybe twice in my entire life. Every other time I go out and I come back, like, you can obviously see the obvious tan lines, basically. So. Thought Criminal, hello. Did you know if you look at the neutral network of the brain and the cosmic web of the universe, and you'll find striking similarities? Maybe the universe is alive? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But when you have like Steph's spirit animal as Hey Hey and my spirit animal as Stitch, I don't know how alive you want that universe to be. You need to get that shirt. You need to get that shirt so I can be wearing the Stitch one and you be wearing the Hey Hey one.
I could probably find it. I could probably find it on Amazon.
Probably.
I'm
just saying, like, I wanted to let you know before I forgot about that. And thank you, John Grant, for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. I've been like trying to watch your Max Payne playthroughs, and I still have yet to play those games. So, oops. But I'm playing Silent Hill 2, so that's why I'm going to focus, for at least for a little while, to get that playthrough before Silent Hill F drops.
They have a Hey Hey shirt that says.
I'm waiting for it.
It says Hey Hey's like huge eyes and like this. It says, I'm in charge here.
you need to get that one. You need to get that one. I still think you should find the spirit animal one, but I'm in charge here with the
Well, I found the spirit animal one, but that was so funny. I'm in charge here. The thing looks retarded as hell.
Hey, Malty. For those who are like new to our little back and forth, basically, Steph is pretty much a human version of Hey Hey. She's pretty much a human version of Hey Hey from Moana. And every time I watch her and Disparu game, I feel like I'm watching the scene in Moana where Maui drops that pile of seed in front of Hey Hey, and Hey Hey starts pecking to the side of the seed, and Maui's just looking at him and just gently guides the head to the pile of seeds. That's what I feel like whenever I feel like Disparu trying to give directions to Steph.
I died a lot today. A lot.
I believe it.
The only instruction that I got today was, I'm climbing up the mountain. I'm climbing up the mountain.
Keely, good to see you. She was trying to climb a vertical wall when there was a clear path right next. That's what I said. She is the human version of Hey Hey.
I made it so hard for myself. It was like towards the end, and
I'm gonna purposely do this out of spite just to piss you off.
I'm climbing up the mountain.
Anyway, chat. So just so we get this clip out of the way, since I have more Superman articles than I have anything Fantastic Four. Do you want to watch that clip that I was tagged in, like of the Fantastic Four Fantastic Four movie, to see what it's going to be like? So let me get into my bookmarks.
I'm climbing up the mountain. That's what you get. That's what you get for not following me. You're not keeping up. I'm climbing up the mountain.
I bet it just sounds exactly like that.
Yes.
All right. I have not watched this, chat. I have not watched it, so I have no idea what the scene, like what's going to be in this scene. All right. I don't know if anybody's looking forward to the Fantastic Four movie. I'm not. But we'll see.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
I mean, you're gonna ruin your appetite.
I'm hungry.
We're never late for Sunday dinner. Should we wait?
I guess. You're late.
Steph's favorite, Pedro Pascal, coming in.
Yeah. Ugh.
The product placement.
The internet daddy.
Yeah. Internet daddy. Pretty much. Yeah. So product placement, Lucky Charms. Fun. Yeah, so Sunday night dinner, basically. Family dinner, chats.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You're late for dinner.
Oh, yes, we are. We're late
by
for
a single minute.
Yes, we were just...
I was going to say, but like 10 seconds. They're late. They're never late. It's been 30 seconds. They're not here.
Yeah. Is that supposed to be funny? I'm just curious. Is that supposed to be funny? I'm just...
Probably, but I can't see past Pedro Pascal.
Hey, Mr. Bentham. This comes out like what? 2 weeks after Superman, basically. Superman is 2 weeks before this movie drops.
Shoulder.
I'll do his shoulder.
Why is that breakfast cereal on the dinner table?
Why does this feel like it's supposed to be like that awkward, like, after sex thing where they're showing up late because they were like, banging each other? That's what it feels like. Because they're so awkward in their delivery, basically. And I'm like, it's like, I'm not saying like, it's like, it just feels like, oh yeah, like, we just finished up before we came to dinner.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. There was something that I read about Pedro Pascal. He said that he was trying to do like that classic, I guess, Americanized like 1950s sort of accent back then. And they told him, no, don't do that. Keep your own Pedro-ness. Yeah. Because he didn't want to like talk like himself. And he wanted to do, that sort of like 1950s Americanized everyday man accent. He didn't want to have his own accent in it because he does have kind of an accent. And they were like, no, just do you. Just keep it all you. I was like, well, what's the point of him taking on the character?
Yeah.
Because this is set in around that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
50s, 60s, basically. So.
Yeah. But I feel like if they made him do that, then I don't know, maybe people would be like, oh, Pedro is so weird in the Pedro is so weird in the movie. It's not really Pedro because he can't like hear his accent. But yeah, he had wanted to do something different and they told him no, just keep it you. Keep your own accent. Keep it Pedro. What the hell?
Whatever that means, basically. But yeah, so
just keep it you. Keep your own accent. That was dumb.
Why are you being weird?
We're not being weird.
Well, I'm doing that weird thing with your face.
Oh, we don't know what you're talking about.
Are you pregnant?
Are you pregnant?
Somehow he knows.
Well, Ben knows. I think Ben's been friends with them for a long time. They have a long-standing friendship. No. He probably knows what's up.
Yes.
So she's like, okay, that's supposed to be her own brother there, Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And feels too awkward to say anything to him, even though they've Ben's there, they've known each other for years. That's her own brother. She's feels too awkward to say anything to him.
Well, I wonder why they would keep it a secret for a little while. Some people have that superstition, don't say anything until you're past the first trimester, I think, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were doing. Who knows why they wanted to keep it a secret?
You know that.
Have you looked at your husband's face?
I know. He just cannot keep a secret.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Why does he look like he looks like he did something wrong? Did you see his face?
That's why the look on his face, I was like is that the awkward look where like you like the when you have where it's like you've just been heels to Jesus before family dinner, basically? That's what it feels like. Like it felt like to me how they're awkward they were.
Heels to
Basically.
Jesus.
Heels to. Have you not seen Zombieland?
No.
You never heard the expression "heels to Jesus"?
No.
Think of the missionary position, Steph.
Oh, okay.
All right. Heels to Jesus. She's going on. That's like the tamest way I could say that. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue playing this.
Sorry. I have never heard heels to Jesus.
This has been Sex Ed with Mara.
No. Yeah. I've never heard that before.
I'm just like actually kind of surprised, but yeah. Yeah, heels to Jesus.
Never heard heels to Jesus.
You are gonna be the best mom. Oh my god. And you are gonna be the best dad. Just kidding. You are out of your depth. But we're gonna be the best uncles ever. Okay, we should eat.
This is very boring. But like if you go back to where after Ben figures it out and you get that shot of Pedro Pascal, he really does look like he did something wrong.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's like,
I got her pregnant. So weird.
Like that,
I don't know. It's just a yeah. Look,
like that kind of that look. Like, oh, like what?
This is just a really boring scene. Like, is this their family dynamic? Is this their what's the word I'm looking for? Their chemistry that they're gonna have together for this movie? Because there is none.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think this is like supposed to establish them as a family. Like the chemistry they have as a family. But like I'm not seeing it.
Very boring. It's just a boring scene. Look at Pedro looks down in shame. Oh, I got her pregnant. Oh.
Like that look, the look you're talking about, Tony? It's like you're side-eyeing Sue. I like that one. The thing is, I love the Fantastic Four. I'm just not feeling this one.
Now, is it because it's Pedro Pascal? And
he's a big factor. I'm not going to lie, he is a big factor. Because I cannot stand that man. I cannot stand looking at him or anything like that. But there's just no chemistry here. This doesn't feel like I'm supposed to look at them and think like, yeah, Johnny Storm and Sue Storm are legitimately like biological like brother and sister, but I'm supposed to see them as a family. Like they are Marvel's first family. And I just don't see it. I just don't see like the chemistry that's supposed to like, I don't see like the dynamic amongst the four that tells me they've been together for a long time, that they know each other's quirks and everything, like each other inside and out pretty much. They could tell when when someone's feeling down or upset or anything like that. I just don't feel that.
Yeah. I mean, when I said that, like, well, Ben kind of knows because he's, been friends with Reed for a long time, and Sue. So that's just based on like the history of the comics. So I don't know. I think Ben would have figured that out. I do like his design. A lot of people don't like Thing's design, but
looks like it is comic book accurate.
Yeah, I do like his design, but this is just kind of boring. Like this is just a boring scene. Why not come in with excitement and say, we have news, and that's why we're late. Instead, they came in like kind of somber, like they're upset that they're like
that they're upset, or they've
like, oh shit, what are we gonna do?
Reed is
like hanging his head in shame. Yeah. It's just really weird. I think there's a combination. For me, there's a combination of things. Pretty much everything that Marvel has put out has been either mid or pretty much garbage. And then, you get Pedro Pascal in the mix, and I'm just like, ugh, I have to watch something else with Pedro Pascal in it. So I do not know what the overarching narrative or story is with Marvel, and that really frustrates the hell out of me. I think I asked that question on Twitter the other day, and the only consistent thing that some people were saying was multiverse. Like, that's it, just multiverse. It's like, okay, what about it? And that's what really is bugging me with Marvel right now, is that there's no overarching storyline. How does all of this connect?
Or at the very least, focus on one of the verses, basically, one of the universes, basically, the timeline there, like they did with the first 3 phases. Like, that was one timeline, pretty much. But now they're all over the place. So it's like, okay, which version of the character am I watching now? Is it from this multiverse or this multiverse or this multiverse? It's which one am I watching now? Versus one, just one timeline. Bam, finish it. Do that timeline, finish it, bam, move on. Now we're opening the proverbial multiverse portal up, basically, because Doctor Strange could be the one to do that or something like that, basically. And here's a new timeline.
Isn't Loki in charge of all of them now? I didn't watch season 2 of Loki, so I didn't
watch any of Loki. He could be, basically, because he's in that time, those time managers or whatever that place is called, basically. So he could do something like that, basically. He could fuck up with a timeline and start a new one.
I only watched the first season, which I didn't really like, so I didn't stick with it. But it's Loki. Trey says yes, it's Loki. Yeah. Okay.
But I'm saying it's kind of like what DC should have done, where DC should have let Zack Snyder finish his movies, whether you like them or not. Let him finish that timeline, and then use the Flash movie with the Flashpoint storyline to create the new DCU, basically. So that way you're not basically trying to you're rebooting something, but not trying to make up for what the screw ups you did, or throw the proverbial spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks this time. Basically, Warner Bros. Has not learned their lesson. Marvel has not learned, Marvel Studios has not learned their lesson at all. Basically,
I mean, that would have been fine. That would have been ideal. But I honestly think that would have taken too long, which is why they did what they did. So I'm not mad at it. I would rather they take their time and flush it out versus, okay, we're going to speed through this. I think that there's no reason to delay the inevitable. You know what I mean? I think in their eyes, we're going to switch it. We're going to go in a new direction. So let's just release what we have right now, what's already down the pipeline. And that's it. We're done with this DCEU. Let's continue on with James Gunn's. And now I look back at it, it's okay, well, I mean, that makes sense from a business standpoint. Let's just get rid of this. These are the movies that we have right now. We'll put them out, see if we can make any money, and then we move forward with James Gunn.
That's not exactly a good standpoint from a business perspective, basically, because you are throwing that shit against the wall and hoping it sticks.
Why sink more money into something that wasn't making money?
I would take a big pause in between, basically, and not okay, let's immediately reboot, because that's what they did. That's not a good business. That's not a good business.
Reinvesting in something that wasn't making any money to begin with would be a bad decision.
No, I'm not saying they reinvest in it. I'm saying they do a big pause, basically. Get their finances, get their financial house in order, and then reboot it. But now it seems like they just veered, basically just did sharp veer to the right, basically. Let's start a new DCEU.
Yeah.
Ignore everything. But it's no, but at the same time, it's you're not giving people time to breathe. You're not giving people time to kind of buy into the plan you have. Basically, you're starting with a whole slate of movie ideas with the introduction of all these characters, and people are let us breathe a little bit. Just give us a Superman movie and let us go from there. Warner Bros. Has not learned their lesson.
I don't mind it. We'll see how the Superman movie does, but I don't mind the switch as much as a lot of people and myself. I mean, I would have liked to see, the conclusion of things, but the only thing that I have in regards to the conclusion of things are the storyboards that when I went to, oh my gosh, it was this whole exhibit of Zack Snyder's Justice League, before it came out. It was in Dallas. It was a whole exhibition of it, and he had a bunch of storyboards And I took pictures of him, and like that's how his story would have concluded. So I mean, like that's pretty much what I had, I was like, okay, well, I know how it would have ended anyways in regards to Zack Snyder's universe. So that's totally fine. I would still actually, the only thing that I would still like to see is David Ayer's Suicide Squad. That's one thing that I like. I'm like, oh, maybe if it ever happens, that's something that I would like to see. Because that first trailer for Suicide Squad looked incredible, and that's like the type of tone that I wanted it to have, and then it got changed. So
yeah, I'm saying like that's what I would want to see from DC if they're gonna not DC, Warner Brothers basically. Like if they're gonna release anything like like between the DCEU and DCU, release that basically. Like give the people like like who are wanting to see what David Ayers would have given us before the studio stepped in and screwed with his baby essentially. Yeah, let us see that. That would be the breather in between rebooting the DC universe basically. Something that's like technically already been made, just needs to be fine-tuned and release it. Would have I think would have made money. I mean,
that would involve money. You know what I mean?
It would have involved money. Well, it would have involved
that it would make money.
It would involve money for marketing. That's about it, because the film was already done. The film was already done, so it would just involve money for marketing at that point.
Well, I'm just saying why it probably would have gone to HBO Max. It wouldn't be released in theaters. It would be just
I didn't say in theaters. I'm saying release it. It would have gotten people hyped for the new DC movie, universe, because that would be the breather movie in between.
Yeah, I don't know. As much as I would have liked to see it, the conclusion of it, I understand the shift in tone, or not the shift in tone, but the shift in leadership and the reason behind it. And now I'm just like, okay, I hope this movie's good, because all I want is some more DC. Like that's all I want is more DC movies.
I want good DC movies.
Because eventually, if these movies are good, we will get a Jason Todd. All right, and that's what I want.
See, the thing is, Steph, I don't want to be like a doomsayer, basically, but I do not see DC at all succeeding.
Yeah, well,
I do not see it.
I don't know.
Not with the direction they're going. Not with the direction they're going. I do not see it succeeding.
I have hope, Mara. Let me have hope, okay? I will be the forever optimist. I will have hope for DC.
You'll be the forever hey to my Stitch.
I will be the forever optimist. I want good DC. I want it to be good because I want it to eventually have Jason Todd. I want to see Red Hood, because the Jason Todd that was in Titans, I wanted to punch in the face. That was a little brat.
Yeah,
that was not
Jason Todd. That's not Jason. Even I know. Even I was like, that's not Jason Todd.
No. Oh my god.
That was not Jason
Todd. I wanted
to
punch him in the face.
Anyway, chat. There's the scene that Marvel thought, hey, this is going to get people hyped for the Fantastic Four movie. Sure.
It wasn't very good. It was boring. it was very boring. It was unnecessary. It was like, I don't know, 30 seconds of dialogue in a however long 2-minute scene or whatever that was, because they could have come in happy and been like, we're pregnant, yay, let's celebrate and eat, and that was it.
Yeah, but he had to have like that 30 seconds of dialogue and basically about a minute and a half of awkwardness.
Yeah.
So
legs to Jesus,
heels to Jesus.
And I messed up.
I'm gonna get that clip from Zombieland, just of Woody Harrelson saying "Heels to Jesus."
Heels to Jesus.
Legs to Jesus. Anyway, that would work because the woman's legs will be. Never mind. Anyway, let's talk about Superman.
Okay.
Let's talk about Superman.
I'll be right back.
All right, I'll go into this article a little bit, chat, and then we'll get Steph's opinion when she comes back, basically. Legs to Jesus. I gotta get that clip from Zombieland. All right, so the new Superman guy, I call him David Cornsweat, or whatever the hell his last name is pronounced, basically, but he refrains from using the American way in reference to Superman's values. Says there's a third side to the hero in the film. We haven't figured out what to call him yet. Man of Steel. Just Superman, basically. I mean, what else what else would he be? I'm just curious. Like, what else would he be called? Like, what else would he be called? Well, like he's last son of Krypton, but basically it's like, that's. I was like, we haven't figured out what to call him yet. I'm like, it's like other than what he's known as, Superman, Man of Steel, last son of Krypton, basically. What else could you call him? Well, that's his name. That's his name. Like literally his name. But I'm talking like outside of his literal name, like, Kal-El / Clark Kent. What else? Hey, Jody. And sounds like David is another actor who doesn't understand the character. Pretty much. Call him Al. Yeah, Dan. At this point, just call him that. Am I zoomed in? Let's see. Let me close this. All right. So the new lead and James Gunn Superman. I feel like Superman in name only. Is following the lead of James Gunn and the film's marketing by avoiding the use of the American way when discussing Superman's values. This became clear in an interview he had with CBS Sunday Morning. Reacting to criticism of the recently released scene where Lois interviews Superman through Clark, Cornsweet said, and so that scene, I think, is the crux of that character that we see. And the reality is that when he doesn't have to be Superman, when he doesn't have to be this calm, reassuring presence to the public, when he doesn't have to symbolize safety and security and truth and justice and all those good things, he still feels those values. I feel like a no shit clip would work well here. Like no shit Sherlock clip would come well here. Because like it doesn't matter if he's Superman, if he's as Superman or if he's as Clark Kent, he embodies those values. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like, when he doesn't have to be this calm, reassuring presence, blah, blah, blah. He still feels those values. Yeah, no shit. That's basically at the core of his character. He lives those values, whether he's Clark Kent or Superman. It's, I guess, both are shits, basically. Just American, like, there is nothing wrong with the American way for how long the Superman comics have been out. Basically, there was nothing wrong with the American way.
I went and grabbed my whiskey.
Okay. But here's the quote, basically, in this Bounty in the Comics article, where he says, he's talking about like the released clip of Lois interviewing Clark, basically, or like, that part. Criticism. He says, and so that scene, I think, is the crux of that character that we see. And the reality is that when he doesn't have to be Superman, when he doesn't have to be this calm, reassuring presence to the public, when he doesn't have to symbolize safety and security and truth and justice and all those good things, he still feels those values. And me personally, I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. He lives those values. So whether he's Clark Kent or Superman, he's going to live those values. He'll just, I guess, his human upbringing will, come to play, and he'll be emotional, but he lives those values. So it's not truth, justice, and the American way, or a better tomorrow, which was shit, or the human way, whatever that means. It's truth, justice, and good things, which is an equally nebulous idea. Still, he explains how these things shape his Clark Kent and Gunn Superman and make him more human in this time, complete with imperfections and complex emotions. Okay, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but has he not watched any other iteration of Superman? I mean, hell, Dean Kane's Superman in Adventures of Lois and Clark, yeah, he was imperfections and complex emotions. Christopher Reeve, imperfections and complex emotions. Especially in Superman 2. Henry Cavill. Tom Welling.
So this was an article from the Sunday Times. They did an interview with James Gunn, and James Gunn is talking about how Superman is an immigrant, and he says that Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it's mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and it's something that we've lost. And then
yeah.
And then so like he's focusing it on basic human kindness. I think that's why it's truth, justice, in the human way.
Which I'm going to kind of ignore that part.
He
Basically,
says that like, and he also wanted to appeal to more audiences than just the American audience, which is why he's also putting in the human
he's
way.
appealed to
Because
people
human
worldwide.
kindness.
Yeah.
Because human kindness is something that we can all rally behind.
I get that,
know?
but Superman has appealed to all walks of life, even outside of the United States, for decades since his creation. And you're telling me that all of a sudden now we have to appeal to the broader audience and remove the American way because no one fucking related to that because the word American was in it?
Yeah.
He does not know the fucking character.
Well, listen to this. I tweeted this out earlier. The journalist asked if he has considered, and this James Gunn, meaning mind you, okay, if James Gunn has considered how differently the film might play in, say, a blue state, New York, aka Metropolis, and Kansas, where Kent grew up.
I'm gonna punch this man in the face so hard.
And he says, yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness. And obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not kind.
No
and
shit.
will take it as offensive just because it's about kindness, but screw them.
Did he fucking throw out the word offensive?
Yeah.
Now, I want to punch James Gunn. First off, Superman is not an immigrant. He's at best a refugee because he was a baby when he was sent from Krypton to save his life, basically.
And it wasn't his choice to come here.
It wasn't his
come
choice
here
to
with
come here.
parents, nothing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's not an immigrant. I'm saying, like, James Gunn has somehow fucking failed upwards with these movies because he has repeatedly shown a lack of understanding in every fucking comic book character he's ever adapted. And yet, for some reason, he keeps getting work. Say what you will about Zack Snyder, all right? See what you will about Zack Snyder, but James Gunn, oh, for fuck's sake, phone. James Gunn has also demonstrated utter lack at times, I think, of worse understanding of the characters, and yet for some reason he succeeds. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Malty. Basic human kindness isn't a value, and it isn't basic. It requires a moral lawgiver. Ask Amazonian tribes about basic kindness, and they'll cannibalize you. The rhetoric is all wonky. Love y'all. Thank you, Malty. I'm saying, like, James Gunn, he's talking out of his ass. And by the way, his, like, you look up the word nepotism, you'll see James Gunn's picture because he's cast his brother again in his movie. Guess what character his brother is playing, Steph?
Well, his wife isn't.
I know, but guess what character his brother is playing?
Who?
Maxwell Lord.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
That's what I'm saying. His character is playing. I read it. Apparently, Sean Gunn is playing Maxwell Lord. And James Gunn likes to cast his wife, too.
Yeah. I can't see him being Maxwell Lord.
Yep, his bro is in another movie. So you look up nepotism and you see James Gunn's picture.
Isn't he already Weasel?
He's already Weasel. Yeah, he's already Weasel, but in this universe, which is supposed to be the same fucking universe, he's Maxwell Lord, too. So go figure.
I can't see him playing Maxwell Lord. Nah.
But anyway. Oh, I love that I have to hit read more on Bounding because it's all the ads. But just like when a firefighter comes home or a paramedic comes home, they might get frustrated or they might panic about something where in the course of doing their job, they would never let themselves panic or yell or raise their voice or convey the kind of instability or uncertainty. Yeah, it's just...
listen to this. I'm going to share this really quickly so I can read it because this still goes towards the whole human way. I don't know how to say this word or whatever this is. So a kid in Jahanpur,
yeah.
Jahanpur calls out for Superman. He knows that help is not coming from other countries on Earth. He needs something divine, something super to save him. When I was growing up, I thought of the big three. Superman was the archetypal American superhero, but Gunn disagrees. His market research showed that people around the globe think of him as far more international. Yes, he has the homespun Americanisms from his boyhood in Kansas, but he remains an alien, just like his creators felt they were almost a century ago. He's a hero for the world, Gunn sums up. The question is, how will the world take him? So that is why it is no longer the American way. It is the human way, because he is a hero for the world.
Yeah, as this group pointed out, the world knows about American patriotism, and they've known about it for decades. Even with the Superman creation, and this group also pointed out that we were making better movies when we were patriotic.
That is true. Yes, we were.
So basically, the other countries, they know, and they've accepted, before this, they've accepted Superman. He's a hero. And those American values are also universal values. Truth and justice. What country would not want to see that? Basically, or the people of that country would not want to see that. Basically, they've accepted. They've even accepted. Here it is, Captain America. Gunn as a globalist is utopian authoritarianism can pound sand. Like I said, this man has repeatedly failed upwards.
I think in this article, he also, I think they asked him about is this a self-insert or something like that, and he says no. But
no, there's
clearly,
no
everything a lot of things that he talks about in this article are very much his own beliefs.
Which he's imparting onto Superman. So he's giving his beliefs to Superman, not adapting actual Superman.
Yeah. Because I think it was when they were talking about the monkeys, the online troll, the monkeys that were the online trolls, whatever. They asked him, "Is that a self-insert?" And he says, "No.
I like this.
Nothing here is from me." Yeah. So.
This is why I hate Gunn. This is why I cannot stand James Gunn. I just cannot stand James Gunn. Basically, again, if people like this movie, more power to them. All right, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna give it an honest take. I'm going to give an honest take on it. I'm going with zero expectations, and I'm hoping it at least meets that. Yeah. He ruined Starro. He basically ruined the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I didn't like Suicide Squad. A lot of people liked that movie. I think it appealed to a lot of people who aren't DC fans, but I didn't really care for it.
Well, it's they basically he tried to turn the Suicide Squad into a DC version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it just doesn't work. Because Suicide Squad is made up of villains. You're not supposed to. You can like them, but you're not supposed to relate to them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'll just to close that article. It's again that Lee does not understand the character he's playing. This is an article I covered earlier today, Steph. Have you seen the reviews have been leaked online? People seen the movie early, Superman movie early.
Which movie?
Superman. They've seen the Superman movie early, and their reviews have leaked online.
No. Please share.
Okay. Well, I'll hold on. Let me just close this Fantastic Four thing, and I'll hold on. Come on, hold down.
I forgot. Dude, I was so drunk last night on Flashcast. And this made me laugh for 5 minutes straight. Oh
my god. Hold on, I gotta stop sharing because I can't just present it. I have to stop sharing screen. God damn.
I just kept looking at it and started. I don't even remember what they were talking about. I just saw this on Twitter and started laughing.
That actually works. It's me, Jessica.
It's me, Jessica.
I
wasn't super drunk. I wasn't drunk. I was quiet, happy drunk.
I'm not going to go into this article I did read it. I did like skim over it basically, but this is like where it all kind of started.
Okay.
Because Jeff Snyder posted like the first Superman review, and it was not favorable to the Superman movie. Basically, the title is "Terrible New Superman is Final Nail in Superhero Cinema's Coffin." Basically.
Jeff Snyder.
No, like he didn't write the review. He's posting the review basically. Another person wrote it.
Oh, okay.
So he's basically just posting the review, like posting the link. But another guy wrote it. Basically, the Nick Shager or however I pronounce his name, basically wrote the article. And he
Jeff Snyder does have some bias. So that's if it was his review, I would say, oh, well.
No, I'm saying it's not his review. It's another guy who does he write for? I can't remember. Daily Beast. Basically, so like the review like he's posting is the guy who writes for Daily Beast. So he posted that review and like basically kind of got swarmed by people. Like people like I guess legitimately upset for him posting that review before the embargo was lifted. And also not liking the fact that it was unfavorable review for the new Superman movie. Blue Sky.
Is that still up?
It's fine as I know it's still up, yeah, because I have it bookmarked and it hasn't I've been able to click on it, so it's still up. And I went over this article earlier today. So Superman Meltdown. Blue Sky critic fights back against viral leaked review. So this guy, he didn't exactly leak his review, but he came out and said that he loves the Superman movie, basically. Where is it? Regarding James Gunn's Superman, what happened is that the Daily Beast posted their review early, which slammed the flick to say the least. Even Variety, which I will go into basically, I have another article, mentioned Superman in their review for the new John Cena movie, Heads of State, which wasn't good. But guess what? Yep, you caught them. Variety edited their article to remove mention of Superman. Too late, we have the screenshots, which I had that article up too. So you can see the screenshots. Back to the Daily Beast review following that going viral online, and believe me, it went viral along with what Variety posted. And now a critic for the website Uprocks broke his embargo and posted on the woke social media site Blue Sky that he couldn't disagree more with what the Daily Beast had to say. So I'm going to get in trouble for this, but that leaked review, good God, I couldn't disagree more.
So he liked it.
He liked it, and he also compared his happy feeling to how he felt leaving Top Gun Maverick. He kind of compared Superman to the Superman movie to Top Gun Maverick, which is like it.
That's a pretty high bar. Top Gun Maverick was really good and American.
Pretty much. Yeah. So you have one definite
what
review.
Is that noise?
I hit my phone on my desk basically. One review clearly unfavorable to the Superman movie, and this guy who didn't really leak his review but saying that he really liked it. But he posted it on Blue Sky, so
yeah.
And he writes for Uprocks. So he says the author of this article says, I tweeted that I think Gunn is trying to recapture his MCU audience from Guardians of the Galaxy, which was goofy as fuck, yet a big success. Yet, however, fans and normies are already familiar with Superman, while they didn't know jack about the Guardians. So, pretty much.
That's true.
Yeah, so he's saying he's going to see Superman Tuesday, and he's going to give his thoughts on it.
I think that people that know about the Guardians say that they actually didn't like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'm saying it's that's what I said earlier in my stream that most people who saw the Guardians of the Galaxy movie and enjoyed it were normies, basically, because I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy, that comic line was kind of D tier, where not a lot of people knew them, basically. Not a lot of people read that comic line, those comic books. So not a lot of people know them. So most people seeing the movie was normies. So that's why it was a big success, because it entertained people. Not everyone knew about it, but then you pointed out, those who actually did know the characters were like, "What the fuck is James Gunn doing?" Which is what I say every time he puts his hands on the property, because it's he has no understanding. He has no understanding of what he's adapting, or he doesn't care and just inserts himself and his beliefs into what he is supposedly adapting.
I finished reading the rest of this article. They said Jurassic World Rebirth was a bomb. I mean, it sucked. Don't get me wrong, but it's
yeah. I'm saying like that's where I got to the point where
performing very well at the theater.
yeah, that's where I was like, it's like, I wouldn't call it a bomb.
Yeah,
that's when I got to that. It's basically, yeah, I'm saying like I got to that point where it's like, I wouldn't call them bombs. I think many of these people who review movies say many things just to get people to watch, because even if you didn't like the movie, your money is gone and it helps the movie. Which is true. Which is true.
There's only there's like maybe 2 or 3 movie reviewers that I've been watching for years. I mean, like 10 plus years on YouTube that they haven't like let me down. They've pretty much been themselves the entire time and given honest reviews, no matter what the backlash would be. So I usually take their word for it as opposed to movie reviewers like Rotten Tomato movie reviewers or Variety or Screen Rant, those types of people. I take those reviews with a grain of salt, especially after the Snow White reviews came out and everybody was just they were just glowing reviews.
Oh, I don't trust.
Like I don't trust, and Captain Marvel too. Like, oh my god, best movie ever, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Movies that are actually good are given negative reviews. So I don't really care about.
Actually, when I started distrusting movie critics was the first Avatar movie, when people were praising that movie, and I thought, this is the most overrated piece of shit I've ever watched. And
I've never gotten into Avatar.
I watched the first one and I was like, what? Like, and I read a reviewer that I trusted at the time, basically, who just like raved about it. And my family went to go see it, and it's like, I'm like, this is what was he watching? This movie is not good. So I've like basically had like, not like little trust, if anything, in like people who review movies.
Ooh, Tony in chat has 2 of my movie reviewers, Jeremy Johns and Flickpick, John Flickinger. Both are really cool. I haven't
watched much of John Flickinger recently, but I do still watch Jeremy Johns on occasion. Like, I might not agree with everything, like his thoughts on the movie or whatever, like the movie he's seen, but at least like he's not like, like I can trust that he's not shilling for it. Like he's giving his honest thoughts on the film.
Yeah, both are really cool dudes. In person, like they're actually like really down to earth. And they haven't really bought it. I used to, who I used to watch? Because I liked his videos. They were like extremely lengthy. They're long form, which was really cool. I love that. They're very in depth, and he didn't just go in depth. He like gave background stuff. Was Chris Stuckman? I used to actually watch Chris.
Oh yeah,
Stuckman
I used to watch his stuff too, and then
and then like he said like, I'm not going to review the same way as before, and it was because he was starting to make his own movies. So he like started to say like, I'm not going to be doing negative reviews anymore. If I don't like something, I just won't review it. And I was just like, well, this is stupid.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, why not? And you can tell his reviews were starting to change when he started making films. So he was like less harsh. They were like less harsh of reviews than he would previously do. And that's when I was just like, man, these reviews just aren't all the same. I don't like his reviews anymore. I stopped watching.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go into this article, but these are the screenshots. Like, Variety didn't put out a review for Superman, but this is what they said about it. They're talking about heads of state.
Can you make it bigger?
I will, yeah. But like, this is the
blow it up
right here. Okay. You could be forgiven for writing off heads of states, but then you would miss a movie that's no sillier than Superman and a lot more entertaining. A comparison worth making, since both adhere to mythical sense of heroism. So they did not exactly post a review, but they referenced the Superman movie and subsequently removed said reference from their artical. Yeah, you have to click on the archive. You have to click on that archive link because according to this, they edited to remove the Superman reference. So yeah, and
I don't even know what this movie is.
Heads of State is the new John Cena Idris Elba movie where John Cena plays the president of the United States and Idris Elba is the prime minister of Britain, basically. And it's basically a buddy cop action movie where they have to pair up, kind of a thing.
So a John Cena movie is sillier and a lot more entertaining.
Was it you would miss a movie that's no sillier, meaning that it's just as silly as Superman, but a lot more entertaining.
But more entertaining than Superman. This John Cena movie. Oh well, I have to watch it then. I'm going to watch it before I watch Superman. I have to watch it then. If it's more entertaining and just as silly as Superman, I need to watch it. Because if this is going to be more entertaining than Superman,
there you go. So I know Trey did not like it. Trey did not like it.
I can see Steph liking Heads of State. No, I hate John Cena. I do not like him. I don't like his acting. I hated him. A lot of people loved his acting in the Suicide Squad. I didn't watch Peacemaker because I do not like John Cena. Like, a character of Peacemaker is cool. Didn't watch it because of John Cena. I don't like John Cena.
Trey's saying he's the best part, honestly.
Yeah, I don't like John Cena.
So I basically just watch him. I basically watch him mainly when he's wrestling because he's like, this is his last year.
He's probably like a cool guy, and I've seen a few clips of him with fans and stuff that, you know, he's a cool guy. But as an actor, I just do not like. I don't know why. I do not know why. I just don't like him as an actor. I think it's his face. I just don't like it. No, I don't like his face. I don't know. And like his whole.
Here's a question, Steph. Who do you hate more, John Cena or Pedro Pascal?
Pedro Pascal. But I think it's his whole just like, you know, about all of the shit that he's done. He is this big, strong looking, like masculine man, you know, and he is completely just knelt to Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And I don't respect someone like that. So that makes that person look terrible to me, you know, like all of the things that make John Cena cool, all of the things that make him masculine just completely just diminish because he's just like, oh, put my tails between my legs and, you know, make an apology video in Chinese and, you know, it's ridiculous. I don't like John Cena.
Anyways, hey Teresa. Yeah. This is like, you know, some people say he plays himself. I would agree with that. He basically plays himself. So there's that. I'm saying, like, you know, I've been like watching this since that review leaked on social media, since the review was posted. I've been just like watching to see like how many get leaked and like their reactions to the movie. I'm just like close this. Anyway, Steph, you can talk about this. At least talk about the movies, I should say. Because you have Jurassic World Rebirth stomps past projections with record-breaking debut. So, what are your thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth?
Dude, listen, I am all for going and watching, you know, monsters fight because that's what these are. They're no longer dinosaurs. They are genetic monsters. These are monsters. So I was just like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm going into this as I would go into those Godzilla versus Kong movies. You know, those type. What are those movies? Like the Monsterverse? That's not Monsterverse. I don't know. Those Godzilla verse movies or whatever. Like that's how I'm going into these movies because I know a lot of people liked Jurassic World with Chris Pratt. I didn't like it. Oh, hold on. My tape fell off. I need to tape it. I have a piece of tape holding up my mic. Hold on. It fell. It got unstuck. Okay, I got it. But that's how I watch these Jurassic Park movies. They're monsters. Nothing is ever going to top the original Jurassic Park movie, and even the second one, The Lost World. That one was still fine. Yeah, the gymnastics part was stupid, but that one was still okay. You know, the dinosaurs were still a threat. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people give the third Jurassic Park shit, but I actually like that movie. That was one of the first. I think that was like the first. That was the first Jurassic Park movie I ever saw in theaters. So like that's kind of nostalgic for me. But the dinosaurs were still threatening in that movie. There was still threat. I didn't like the whole family shit, and Téa Leoni just completely annoyed me throughout the entire movie. But at least in those movies, the dinosaurs were threats. You know, they weren't pets, which is what the Jurassic World made these dinosaurs out to be. They were like pets and stuff. They weren't threatening. They completely just made velociraptors out to be like your dog. You could have a pet. You know what I mean? Because once they trained velociraptors, I was like, are you kidding? These are the most horrific dinosaurs in the Jurassic Park. Like they are smart, they are cunning, they are fast, and they will kill you while you're alive. You're alive when they start to eat you. You know what I mean? But yeah, they started making like the T-Rex a hero, and then what is it? The Velociraptors were kind of like pets. So a lot of people really liked the Jurassic World movie. I didn't. I was just like, it was fine. It was entertaining if you look at it from like, oh, I'm going to see a bunch of monsters, because these are just the dinosaurs are just monsters. Like that's it. So when I saw this movie, they were just like, we're gonna make it more horrific. You know, go back to the roots, go back to the island. I was like, all right, that's fine. More monster movies. That's totally fine. I'm going into it as if I were seeing like one of those Godzilla movies. You know, like in the Jurassic Park universe, I feel like the original Jurassic Park movie is like Godzilla -1, you know, and these other movies, these newer movies, are like the Americanized Godzilla movies. Like that's what it is. But this movie wasn't it. The story wasn't good, and the dinosaurs weren't a threat. That's what pissed me off. Yeah, the dinosaurs were like mutations because they were genetically modified mixes of different dinosaurs, and basically on this island remained all of the dinosaurs that were either too lethal for the parks or too hard to look at. So like, you know, the D-Rex, the Downosaurus, the creepy looking one.
Oh, yeah,
it's an
Mongoloid Rex.
eyesore. Yeah, it's an eyesore. So like if they brought that to a park, people would be like, oh my God, what is this? And they don't euthanize them. They don't kill them because millions of dollars were pumped into creating these dinosaurs. So that's the only reason they're kept alive, is because millions of dollars went into them. So they haven't killed them. But basically that Downosaurus was in the movie for like 5 minutes. It really didn't matter. They made it seem like it was going to be a huge part of the movie, and it wasn't. It was there at the beginning, there at the end. It was done. There were really no stakes. Like, yes, the dinosaurs were there, and they were extremely they were more scary for sure, more threatening, but nobody died. Like, I'm sorry, nobody fucking dies. I can't stand it. Like, we're gonna get into spoilers because I don't care. I've kept it spoiler free for a bunch of streams, and I want to talk about this movie. At the very beginning of this movie, a candy wrapper is what brings down the security system, and I'm not even joking. And I'm just like, where did that breeze come from? Where did the breeze come from that sucked in the candy wrapper and then sucked it in throughout like the rest of the second room that it sucked in, right? It got sucked in, and like that was it. It was in the room, but it had to get across the room and into like the next, get sucked into the next thing. I was like, where's this breeze coming from? Why is it just continuing to float through the air? Where's the breeze? I don't know. But that stupid candy wrapper gets sucked in to the security system, and for whatever reason, it shorts it out. It shorts out the system, which unlocks all of the pens that all of the dinosaurs are in. A candy wrapper does that. Like,
okay,
a candy wrapper gets sucked into my vacuum, and it doesn't even clog it. It just sucks it up. Like, what? I don't understand. It's so dumb. It's such a dumb way to release these dinosaurs onto the island, but that's what happens. It gets sucked in, it shuts down the system, and everything goes haywire. That's when you see, like, from the trailer, that one guy that the dinosaur eats, it eats him, and that was the end of the scene. You've basically seen all of the scenes that this D-Rex creature is in the trailers, because that's the amount of time that he's in the movie. So now you have like this billionaire, or not this billionaire, this guy that works for a pharmaceutical company. Why did I call him a billionaire? Who his company is like paying all of these people, including Scarlett Johansson, who, by the way, oh my God, like Scarlett Johansson is she's very beautiful, even now she's so beautiful. And I was just looking at her like, she's so fucking frumpy. When you introduce her, she's in this nasty looking suit that's way too big for her. She's wearing like white tennies, like white Adidas. I'm just looking at her like, ew, why does she look so ugly? Her hair's always up, it's never down. There's even this one part where they put her in a tank top, right? Her pants are like above her belly, but they're like ridiculously high up. But she's sitting down and she's eating. I think that's where she's eating. She's sitting down and she's eating. She's not sitting up straight. She's completely slouching. So she's got like this, and I've seen Scarlett Johansson. Like, this lady is not fat, and she's got like this belly roll, and they just kept it in the movie. And I'm just, are you fucking kidding? You put her in a tank top and you make her look fat? That it looked horrible. It was such a bad angle that I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? What? That looks terrible. How was this approved? How did she approve this? But yeah, she looks bad. She looks so bad in the movie. And she lives. They have this other family who take this family out of the movie, and it makes little difference. The only value that this family adds to the movie is that, one, it makes me fucking hate the boyfriend, and I'm just like, dude, get him out of here. Let him be eaten. I don't care. I wouldn't mind if this guy dies. If we're going to an island where people are gonna die, cool. Kill him first. You know what I mean? I can't stand this guy. Like, kill him first. He's lazy. He doesn't want to take over anything. He just wants to sleep. I'm like, kill him. I don't care. Why is this girl with this guy? Kill this guy. And the only other reason for them to be in the movie is to introduce this adorable little tiny dinosaur that this kid carries around in her backpack, which she's going to take home at the end of the movie. And we've already established that these dinosaurs are dying, by the way. Oh yeah, I forgot. All the dinosaurs are dying. They can't adapt to temperatures and oxygen. So all of the dinosaurs are dying out, or they've gone and to like be around like the equator, because there is more, it's more like when they were alive, right? That's where they can flourish. So taking this baby dinosaur back to her house, that thing's gonna die. She's sentenced it to death. That dinosaur is going to die. It's like a triceratops type of dinosaur too, right? So it's like, what are you gonna do?
Like
how on earth are you gonna just take this home like a pet? You know it's not gonna stay that size, right? That's a baby. It's going to get bigger, and you've sentenced this tiny little creature to death. Just leave it there. Leave it on the island. Nobody dies in this movie, Mara. Like, nobody dies. It's insane. They kill all of the people that you think they're going to kill. They actually killed less people that I thought they were going to kill, because they started off with, the Scarlett Johansson team, which was Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, that guy, which is her friend, and they have this whole backstory that doesn't fucking matter. It's just a way to like give them some characterization. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Then there's 2 members of their team, right? No, three members. So it's the big 2, and then 3 expendable members on their team, and then the scientist guy and the pharmaceutical guy. Who do you think dies? Out of that team.
Guy?
Yes. And the 3 expendable people.
Okay. I was gonna say, I thought like the 3 expendable people would be like too obvious kind of thing. So I'm like,
Yeah.
But
The
so I was
three
right about
expendable people
pharmaceutical.
die like right away. They die. They just right away they die.
So basically,
right?
they're the equivalent of red shirts from Star Trek. Basically, they're just there.
They're red
to
shirts
die.
100%. Yeah, they're red shirts from Star Trek. They die immediately. Boom, that's it.
Right.
And okay, and I was thinking, okay, so out of the people that are left, right? Out of the people that are left, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, so they're friends together. Then we have the pharmaceutical guy and the scientist guy, right? So we have 4 people left, and I was thinking, all right, out of these 4 people, because you want to make this movie fucking scary with stakes, with crazy ass freaking dinosaurs, I want the scientist guy to die, and I want the pharmaceutical guy to die, right? Oh no. I want the pharmaceutical guy to die and the friend to die, right? And the only ones that make it out are the scientist and Scarlett Johansson's character, because that's just like process of elimination tells me that they are the only ones that make it out. No, her friend makes it out in a stupid way because he's right in front of the D-Rex. I mean, he's like from here to the camera. It is right there. It could have killed him. How did he get away? We don't know because we don't see it. It just growls at him, and then all of a sudden he's like there, and like it was established in this movie that thing is attracted to light, right? So he takes a what are they called? He takes a thing.
A flare?
A flare, yes. He takes a flare to guide it away from the kids, right? Kind of like Ian Malcolm. It was a nod to Jurassic Park. He does that whole thing. It's still lit. The dinosaur's like right there. You think it's going to get eaten, and then you see the flare light go out. So you assume he's dead. And what does he do to have them turn back around and come and get him? He lights another flare. But where is the D-Rex? That thing is attracted to light, is nowhere to be found. Like, it didn't come back. It's just gone now. Did he kill it? I don't know. It's just gone.
So
and then out of the family, okay, because there's a family here on the island as well. There's the dad, there's the lazy, horrible boyfriend, there's a daughter, and then there's a tiny daughter. So there's 4 of them. Who do you think dies?
The dad.
Who else?
The older daughter.
Cool. None of them die. They literally are riding an inflatable boat next to a T-Rex. She inflates it right there. He's sleeping so close to her. It wakes up. None of them die. Like, this has the most people that live that I've ever seen in a Jurassic Park. It's crazy. It's insane how many people live in this movie. I was expecting like, oh, the boyfriend and the dad die, right? The boyfriend and the dad die, and the daughters survive at the expense of, their sacrifice or whatever, right? They have to save the daughters, and they have to sacrifice themselves to save the daughter. No, they all live. The dad does jack shit in this movie, and I was honestly expecting the boyfriend to die like, right off, right? Like, he's gonna die. No, and I was thinking like maybe that's why they maybe that's why they made him so unlikable, so we don't care if he dies. No, he lives. The dad's leg gets hurt, and I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna do something because he can't move, he can't walk. He said he can't move, he can't walk. So he's gonna hold them back. So to get away from the dinosaurs, he's gonna sacrifice himself to save his daughters. No, he lives. In fact, one of his daughters is underneath a raft. Okay, they're in a safe position away from the T-Rex. One of his daughters is underneath the raft, right? And he's just there looking. She's in danger, and he's watching her die. Like, he's watching her almost die, and he's just like, no, and crying. He doesn't take the T-Rex's attention away from him or nothing, so the daughter can get away. No, he just stands there cowering behind a rock and crying because he thinks that he's watching his youngest little baby daughter die. Like, it was insane watching this. I was so frustrated. I was like, dude, is nobody gonna die? Like, nobody dies. It's crazy. Like, the plot armor is so thick with these characters in this movie.
The whole reason, at least, Scarlett Johansson's team is going to this island is to get DNA from like 3 species of dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's to get DNA from 3 species of dinosaurs whose hearts are the biggest because they have bigger hearts, they live longer, and this is done in order to cure heart disease in humans. And the pharmacist guy wants it because he wants to basically like sell it off to the highest bidder. There's like
Of
trillions
course,
of
greedy
dollars.
big pharma guy.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
big pharma, greedy big pharma. And like for no real reason at all, the scientist guy whose only interest is pretty much dinosaurs has this idea of, you know what, let's just give it to the world. Let's give this to the world so everyone can share it, and big pharma has nothing. Like that was so out of character for him because he's just there for the dinosaurs. He's just a scientist. He loves dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But yeah, that came out of nowhere. You know, Scarlett Johansson, the one thing that you know about this lady is that she wants money. That's why she's there. She wants a ton of money. And she would be forfeiting a lot of money if she's already there for nothing because the pharmacist guy died. So unless they already got paid, she's there for nothing. So then they would be essentially giving this stuff out for free, and there's no benefit to them whatsoever. But yeah, they make the decision to give these samples to the world at the very end, which is dumb. But whatever, you know, big pharma bad. But it's so funny that the 3 dinosaurs that they need are the Mosasaurus, which is in the sea. You know, so Mosasaurus is cool. But the other 2, this island has dinosaurs that are genetically modified. Okay? Genetically modified. They're all mixes of different dinosaurs. These other 2 dinosaurs are they're like pure. They're not mixes of dinosaurs. They just happen to be on this island as well, which is the Titanosaurus, the big long neck one.
Long neck one, yeah.
Yeah, and then the Quetzalcoatlus, which is the largest air animal. They need a sea, a land, and an air animal. When I thought, I was like, oh my god.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
Yeah, and like that's why they're there. That's why they need samples from those biggest dinosaurs, is because they're trying to cure heart disease. Yeah. I loved Jeremy John's review. I watched his review after I saw this movie. And it's perfect. It's perfect. He says that this movie is basically a video game like side quest. It's not even the main quest, it's a side quest. And he was just like, hi, it turns out dinosaurs can help cure this disease and we need you to get samples. Can you do that? Thank you. I'll be here waiting. Like it's so funny because it's a perfect description of this movie. It's just a video game side quest mission, which is what this movie is. It's hilarious. But it's doing well because people just love dinosaurs. Like that's what
I said in my stream yesterday. Yeah. It's like it's going to do well because even if like the plot sucks, people love watching dinosaurs on the big screen. Because who doesn't love watching dinosaurs on the big screen, basically?
And you know what you want to see? You want to see like the dinosaurs fight, right? So you want these 2 dinosaurs. I'm getting my Legos. So they're just what I have in front of me. So you want these 2 dinosaurs to fight, like roar, fight. There's not even anything of that. There's no fighting in this movie. You don't even see 2 dinosaurs fight and kill each other. Basically, a velociraptor tries to kill like the deadbeat boyfriend, and one of the hybrid dinosaurs swoops up and kills him. That's it. That's all you get. You don't even get like a big like fight.
Yeah.
You know, like Spinosaurus versus the T-Rex. That was dope. That was cool. Someone won. Nope, nothing like that.
Nope. Even in the first Jurassic Park movie, the T-Rex ate a Gallimimus and like killed the 2 velociraptors at the end. It's like it wasn't exactly a fight, but there were still like dinosaurs attacking each other. I'm trying to remember like how many people died in Jurassic Park. So you had the guy at the beginning who got pulled into the cage, like he's pretty much fucking dead, even though you don't see it. The lawyer, Dennis Nedry, Samuel L. Jackson's character, and the like what would you call that guy basically? Muldoon. Like I don't know what his role is. Basically, like like I guess like
He's
the big game.
He's the
The
game
game,
hunter.
the game hunter, yeah, but he's like the preservationist game hunter, kind of on the island to make sure that they kind of the dinosaurs kind of stay in check.
But
I think it's
still,
all
like,
of them that.
but still, he is the one. Like the game hunter, he's the one who hunts dangerous animals. He's the one who knows all about the velociraptors,
Yeah.
and they're hunting and all of that stuff. And he dies, right? So like
Yeah.
that tells me there are stakes in this movie that these dinosaurs outwitted the game hunter, the one that hunts
Yeah.
for a living, right? Who
Yeah,
knows,
that's the whole
like,
clever girl
yeah.
line. It's a whole clever girl line because he like it's like it was that in that moment he knew he was fucked, but he still said clever girl because he was impressed that he was lured literally into a trap by these velociraptors. They only to be killed. I'm saying like there were still stakes. So basically we had like what 5-6 people at least in the first Jurassic Park movie died. So pretty much. But anyway, so yeah, this says here updated 8/15 like today basically. That it exceeds Saturday's projections of 85.4 million 3-day and 141.2 million 5-day. So per deadline as of Sunday morning, Jurassic World Rebirth is expected to close out its debut weekend with a 3-day domestic gross of 91.5 million and a 5-day domestic gross of 147.3 million. Exceeding its original projections of this. Additionally, it smashed box office record by earning the best single day 4th of July domestic gross of the 2020s, beating out the previous #1 titles, which were 2020's Relic, 2021's F9, 2022's Minions: The Rise of Gru, 2023's Sound of Freedom, and 2024's Despicable Me 4. So this is what it earned its first weekend, basically. So we'll see what the drop is, basically, but I do not see it being a bomb. I do not see it being a flop because, like I said, people still want to see dinosaurs on the big screen. People still want to see dinosaurs on the big screen. They want to see the T-Rex. They want to see, like what would be really cool? There's a museum. I can't remember where. I got to find it, but there's like an intact entire skeleton of a Quetzalcoatlus, so you can actually get a gauge of how big this creature is. Let me see if we can find a picture of it. So I was reading in like an article of sizes of creatures and things like that, and I was like, holy shit! Get a gauge of how big.
Yeah, I will say Gareth Edwards did make these dinosaurs look grand. Like they looked really cool. But you could tell it was all done in front of a green screen, unfortunately. Like I think that the dinosaurs in Jurassic dinosaurs in Jurassic Park in the Lost World look so much better than these new ones, which is crazy. But you can tell like a lot of stuff was done in front of a green screen, like to nothing. They were looking at nothing. They don't look grand. The only I think the only like animatronic dinosaur was the one in the little girl's backpack. Like that was it. And it was basically so they could have it at the theme park because now Universal you can visit and see that little I think her name was Dolores. The little girl named her Dolores or something. You can see Dolores at the theme park. You can bring her out and you can visit Dolores at the theme park. But I'm pretty sure that was the only animatronic dinosaur that they had, unless they also made like a leg, because at one point the scientist guy touches a leg. So, but that was it. That was all.
I'm trying to think. Is this like a standing? Okay, here it is. It's like a model, basically. I should say like more of a model than a skeleton, but it gives like a gauge of how big this creature is. Which I would love to go just like somewhere, basically. But this is how big it is. There's the human. And that's how big a Quetzalcoatlus would be, basically. So was it at least accurate in the movie how big it was compared to, I guess, the human characters?
Was it that big? I don't think it was that big. It was pretty fucking big. Well, no, actually, yeah, because at one point, one of these things does eat one of the red shirt characters. So and when he was like getting swallowed, he was pretty much in its mouth.
Because that mouth is basically like would swallow a human.
Yeah. It's pretty much swallowed him whole. So yeah, I would say yes.
All right,
They were
just
pretty,
curious. Yeah.
pretty
I was
sized,
just
yeah.
curious because I remember seeing a picture of it and going like, that's like would be really cool to stand next to, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right.
I
I knew
almost
like
said
that
red.
dinosaur.
I almost said red coat instead of red shirt.
I know. I saw you catch that. Basically, it's July 4th. You know, we can. It's July 4th weekend. We can still kind of say red coats. Anyway, but I knew the dinosaur was in the movie, and I was like, you know what? Like, it's like, are they accurate to the size of that creature? I allergies. I fucking hate. Anyway, so let me just close that article. We don't have to talk about necessarily the Hollywood Reporter one. I just wanted to talk about that one because, like, Megan 2 kind of bombed at the box office. It's not doing well. And Friday Nights at Freddy's 2 early reactions are positive.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He said, genuinely hilarious that right-wing influencers are just learning Superman is political.
Why is it always political when it suits their fucking purposes?
Like,
It's never
just
been
go back. Like, just go back to your non-political comic book movies like X-Men Snowflakes. You know what this reminds me of, this take? This take reminds me of Star Wars has always been political.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying but it's always been political when it suits their narrative, basically. I'm like,
that's what it reminds me of.
But I'm like, political commentary is not the same as it being political. If it's commentating on something like socially or politically, that's commentary. This doesn't make it political. But now everything is now everything. If we complain about it, it's always been political. Really, show me fucking where it actually takes a political stance on a particular topic. And not just the commentary stance, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, X-Men has always been political. I'm like, I was like, it's always like, when it suits their narrative. It's always been political when it suits their narrative.
It's always been political. Get out of here.
Yeah. That guy like pops up and I fucking hate him.
I know.
He's an idiot.
I know. When I saw that, I was like, ugh.
How many followers does he have? Hold on. How many followers does he have? 32,000. And that tweet only garnered 132 likes. Wow.
Yeah. 138.
Yeah, but still, like you'd think he'd be like, higher given how many followers he has.
Do you think the MAGA crowd has figured? He also. This is where I know him from. He tweeted this out.
Yeah, I said like he's been around for a while now. Like I fucking hate him.
I kind of agree with him on this though. I think most people just want to escape from everyday politics, especially the way things are now.
I'm wondering how many of those followers are paid. Like I'm looking at his.
It's not political unless you make it political. This doesn't even make sense. Superman was always political. Almost all art is.
No, art is subjective. It's not political unless the artist himself or herself says they're taking a political stance. Art is subjective. I like, okay, look at the Mona Lisa. Tell me how political it is. Look at Van Gogh's Starry Night. Is that political?
What are you talking about? She's looking at you, judging you, wondering why you haven't voted in a woman president. Okay, that's how Mona Lisa is political.
Yeah, that's all like that look, that mysterious look is like her judging every woman.
That is me inserting something. That's
I'm saying, but I'm saying like, art has always been political. Oh, fucking really? Anyway, but here, this I kind of like. I get a kick out of this because while I think the first Five Nights at Freddy movie was mid at best, I don't know the lore. I don't know how accurate it is to the lore or anything like that. I just thought the plot was meh, basically. There is a Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie coming out. Yeah, Mortal Kombat's political. Yeah. The Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is coming out. It does look good. Basically, the animatronics have been basically released onto the world, essentially. And so basically all hell is going to break loose. And I saw this article and I'm like, oh, this is like pretty cool. We're going to have kind of a Scream reunion of sorts because Skeet Ulrich seemingly confirmed to be playing major Blumhouse role in Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So basically, have you seen Scream, Steph? Scream? Yeah, Scream.
Oh yeah.
So he and Matthew Lillard were in Scream. So basically, this is going to be like a little bit of a Scream reunion in this movie. It hasn't been revealed what his role
he was in
is.
Scream as well. I know Matthew Lillard was in Scream.
Yeah, they're both in Scream. Like this is like a little mini Scream reunion with these.
Who's
with
the
these
other
two
guy?
actors. Skeet Ulrich, basically.
That's Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah. Yeah. He played Billy Loomis.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him.
He doesn't even look the same. I'm sorry, I'm a little tipsy.
Well, I'm sorry. It's been like nearly 30 years, so I'm like, it's like
yes, Jody, he aged well.
Yeah, I'm saying that that's Skeet Ulrich. Yeah.
He's in Scream 5?
Yeah, because
he is in Scream 5. Yeah, because the girl has like flat because she's his daughter. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, so I thought this was like pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not exactly the biggest Five Nights at Freddy's fan. But like you have like this little reunion. I'm up for it. Basically, I'm up for it. He's seemingly set to star alongside his Scream's co-star once again in Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, which releases December 5th. After months of rumors, it appears that Ulrich will indeed be playing a major role in the live-action video game adaptation, as a book created by the man behind the game seems to have confirmed it. And the speculation is, one of the previous speculations is that he's going to play Fazbear Entertainment co-founder Henry Emily. Now, I don't know the lore, so I don't know what that implies, but that's the speculation of the character he's going to play. So yeah. Have you seen the teaser or anything? Steph? For Five Nights at Freddy's 2?
No.
Well, let's just watch this. Let's just watch. I don't know if this is a trailer. This is a teaser. I'm pretty sure there's a trailer, but let's just watch this teaser in this article.
Welcome back. Are you ready to start the show? Count with me now.
Basically, like
5, 4,
they escape.
3,
They're out there, Mike.
2,
Where?
1.
Everywhere.
Showtime!
So
I love it. Listen,
yeah.
I love the first Five Nights at Freddy's movies. I watched some people play this game. I wanted to play it, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to work on my computer. I like it. I love it, actually. I can't wait. I'm glad that the first one did really well and that now we're getting another one. I think Springtrap is supposed to be in this one too. Is it Springtrap? Is it Springtrap?
I think it's Springtrap.
Is it Springtrap?
Yeah, I think I think it is. I think it's Springtrap, basically, like the rabbit, like the yellow rabbit. The yellow rabbit, I should say. Basically.
The yellow rabbit, yeah, the yellow rabbit. Balloon Boy, really? Balloon Boy is gonna be in this? Okay, let's go. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to it. I like the first Five Nights at Freddy movies. They're not hard. They're very simple movies. But I'm actually looking forward to the second one. I'm not gonna lie. They're simple. They're kind of I don't want to say like they're very simple movies. I mean, the video game themselves itself is kind of simple. It is scary. There's a lot of jump scares, but I mean, this is easy money. This is easy money, pretty much. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it won't be like Hollywoodized. Because why are you on the phone? Who's she talking to? Oh my God. Okay, you stay on the phone. I'll keep talking. I didn't even notice that she was on the phone. But yeah, I hope that they
Sorry,
won't.
my mom called and I didn't have time to say anything. I had to answer it real fast.
Oh, that's fine. I'm hoping that they don't go like super Hollywood with this second movie and it feels and stays very indie, because the first one felt like super indie. It felt like an indie film, and I'm hoping that the second one stays that way and they don't go crazy with like visual effects or anything, because you don't really need that. So yeah, I like it. I hope it does well. I'm looking forward to it. I don't mind it.
I'm happy that now it's kind of like on a bigger scale. I'm gonna catch up on the super chats real fast that I missed. $5 super chat from Sonic Jaded from earlier. A monster movie can be story compelling like Shin Godzilla. People dialogue was amazing in Shin Godzilla, but this Jurassic Park Rebirth dialogue was dog water.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah.
Mr. Benther for $2. Thank you so much. I'm so sick of product placements. Yeah.
Snickers.
Yeah.
Snickers.
And another $5 super chat from Sonic Jaded. Thank you so much. I blame Dangerville for being a part of hyping this cartoony movie up. You silly shield. I'm guessing like the Superman movie or something, but anyway, yeah, so. But here, yeah. So like I said, I wouldn't say my interest is peaked, but I'm interested because it looks like now it's on a bigger scale. The animatronics have been released of sorts because they're no longer essentially bound to the Freddy Fazbear's restaurant. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I don't know the lore, so I have no idea if this is like at all accurate to what happens in the actual FNAF lore. Oh, Shill's Jurassic World. Okay, he shows Jurassic World, which is why I'm kind of meh on the first movie, that it was like they went the PG-13 routes and they needed to go like rated R full horror, especially near the end of the movie. And they didn't. So I feel like even Mazda can handle an R rating at this point. So just go rated
It should
R.
be fine. The first one wasn't too bad. It wasn't like incredibly scary.
I think like it should have been rated R just enough that like had like basically a horror, like more of a horror.
There's like blood and gore would give it a nice R rating, and I don't mind that.
Yeah, I'm saying like that's all they would have had to add at the end of the first movie to bump it up to the R rating, and they kept it at the PG-13 level because like the deaths earlier in the movie you don't see anything because it cuts away whenever like anything happens.
Tony says there's plenty of middle school kids who love Five Nights at Freddy's, so I can understand why they're keeping it at PG-12. Yes, they want that young audience in there. 100% they do. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm from the generation that grew up with like PG-13 being equivalent of R-rated movies, or R-rated movies being equivalent of PG-13 back in the day, pretty much. So that's my mentality. Like that's I'm coming from like.
That's why Mara's harder than me.
I'm pretty much, yeah. I was watching movies that were like, I'm saying like movies
that's
in the
why
80s
she's
and 90s
cooler than I am.
were like what was PG-13 would be rated R today. Basically.
Yeah.
So, I'm hard like that. Feel free to clip that if you want.
She's hard.
Yeah. Anyway. But that's all I really have. I do have the Amazon Rings of Power article, but I might just cover that on a separate stream that I do myself, basically. Because it's pretty much shill of shills screen rant. Pretty much.
I have one thing if you want to read the private chat and then share my screen.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna put the clip.
That's vodka in there. Mara drinks vodka every stream. That's what she's.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what she's swallowing down her gullet is vodka.
You rampant
She can just
slack.
take it and just like that's it. It doesn't even affect her.
So yeah, but yeah, I got this stuff basically.
You rampant slack.
So, okay, I gotta remove this. Sorry.
Okay, so this is something that I want to talk about. This is actually kind of makes me sad because I really wanted How to Train Your Dragon to be like $1 billion movie. Just because I personally love these movies so much. I was hoping it would do a lot better than it has been doing. It's still fine, but it has like an uphill to crawl. It has a long way to go. How to Train Your Dragon, the live action movie, has broken major records for the franchise. And right now, per deadline, as of Saturday morning, it has made, where's it at? $450 million worldwide. It has not yet managed to outgross the entire global runs for any of its previous installments. I really wish that more people had gone to watch it, and I don't want to say I blame live action movie fatigue, but a lot of people are really just turned off by live action movies of, previously well established, even better movies, right?
Mhm.
But for me, like, this movie is pretty much how to do live action properly. Because if you're going to do a live action, and let's be real, they are going to continue to do live action, I feel like How to Train Your Dragon is how to do it. Because all of these Disney live action movies has changed something one way or another for the worse, right? And every time they change something, what do we say? We say, I wish that they would have just kept it to the story, to the animation. I wish they would have just done that. It would have performed well. It would have done really, really well. Well, How to Train Your Dragon did that, right? With the exception of a few race swaps that and character things that I didn't really agree with. They had very little to do with the story. The story was still Hiccup and Toothless, Hiccup and his dad, and a story aspect that they added into it, which was between what's his name and his dad. I actually like that. That was a really cool thing that they added into. That was from the cartoon series on Netflix. They put that in this movie. That was actually pretty cool. They had a little tiny nod to the Netflix series, and they put it in this movie. That was really cool. I like that. I didn't mind that. The one thing I didn't like was the whole Astrid wanted to be chief, but she said that, and it went nowhere. It was just something that added in that she just said. Later on, it didn't affect any type of her motivation. She still stuck with and got behind Hiccup. At the end of the day, right? I don't know if this was added in to see oh my gosh, she really did have some huge ambitions, but she still backed Hiccup despite her ambitions. Maybe, that was supposed to add even more character to Astrid as opposed to just wanting to be a dragon slayer. Because later on she does go on to be his wife and back him at every turn, all of his decisions and all that. So, but I really wish that this movie had done a lot better. It's when it goes to streaming, and it will, I'm hoping that it still, kind of trickles up, kind of like the what is that movie? The Wild Robot did. It slowly creeped up and did really, really well finally at the end of its run, which was really cool. I'm hoping that this does the same thing, because the fact that this movie is not performing as well as I thought it would, it's kind of sad, especially when Lilo and Stitch is has it reached 1 billion? I don't even know.
Well, that's why it says 900 million. So if it hasn't reached 1 billion, it's it was
and
close.
that movie completely just changed the whole meaning and the moral lessons of Lilo and Stitch, and that movie is performing well. When this one didn't change the thing, it stuck with the story. It stuck what we loved about How to Train Your Dragon, and it's kind of sort of at a standstill. So that really sucks. It really sucks, because I don't know, this movie is so good. It's such a good movie, and How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is pretty much goated. That whole animation, that whole trilogy is goated. It's such a great trilogy. Seriously, if you have not seen or watched the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy, you really should. And even the animated shows, the one that I watched was I think it was Edge of, I didn't watch the Dragon Riders one. I watched the Edge of Berk one, or I think that's what it's called. I watched that one, and that one was good too. Every episode was really good. Riders of Berk. That's the one Riders of Berk. I watched Riders of Berk. That was so good. Yes. Riders of Berk was an amazing show. It was and even their spin-off, one-off movies that were just thrown on Netflix, even those were good. So the fact that this movie isn't doing good, I'm just so sad. I'm so sad. Riders of Berk, I didn't watch. Defenders of Berk, that's the one that I watched. And I watched Race to the Edge as well. Race to the Edge. I watched Race to the Edge as well. Yeah. It's just so sad that it's not doing well. I wish it was done. I wish it was doing a lot better. because we were all saying that, like, oh my gosh, they're going to do these movies. They should just make them like the original. And this is like the original. And so now the conversation has switched to, well, if it's like the original, I'm just going to go and watch the original. It's like they're going to keep doing these live action movies. At least support the one that is not changing the storyline. You know what I mean? Like, more people are supporting, like, more people are going out and seeing Lilo and Stitch, let's face it, because of fucking Stitch. And I knew that movie was going to do well. But I thought that, like, the reviews and the people and the backlash was going to not drive that number up, and it did, which is wild. It's just mind-boggling to me. It is mind-boggling to me that so many people are saying so many negative things about it, but oh, Stitch is so cute that it's doing well. And this movie kept the story to the original. It brought back the original director. It kept the story to the original, and it even brought back some of the original characters. And it's just like, what the heck? How is this not doing as well as Lilo and Stitch? I don't know. It blows my mind. But I know that they're planning sequels for both movies. They're planning a sequel for Lilo and Stitch, and they're planning a sequel for How to Train Your Dragon. And I'm hoping that the sequels,
unlike Lilo and Stitch, the sequel to this one was, I think, better. I would say How to Train Your Dragon 2.
It's so good. It is so good, and the designs of the dinosaurs is incredible. Seriously, if you haven't checked out How to Train Your Dragon, watch it. It's worth it. It's worth your time. It's so good. Live action and animation, I think they're both really good. But yeah, I'm hoping that the sequels will be like go like head to head, you know. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the How to Train Your Dragon 2 will do better than the Lilo and Stitch sequel, because fucking the Lilo and Stitch movie was terrible. It was awful. I hated it. But anyways, dragons, not dinosaurs. I know. But I don't know. I was hoping that this would do well. I don't know. Do you think that because it came out after Lilo and Stitch and so many people were so disappointed in Lilo and Stitch that, like, that's why it didn't do well? No, it can't be, because a lot of people went and watched Lilo and Stitch.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I think Lilo and Stitch basically took what Thunder How to Train Your Dragon would have had, basically, because Lilo and Stitch is, as like Disney property, probably more well known than How to Train Your Dragon. I think that's it. I think, like, you know, having it released close to the release of Lilo and Stitch did not help it, and the fact that it got sandwiched in between Lilo and Stitch and 28 years later, it was not the best release. I think the release probably had a big factor to do with how, like, you know, how this performed at the box office. Not so much the movie itself, but, you know, when people are like spending like so much money at a time at the theater, they're like, well, I want to see this and this, but I can't see both of them at the theater, so I'm gonna save my money for this movie or watch.
Yeah, it's like, let's go see Lilo and Stitch. We'll wait for How to Train Your Dragon to come on streaming or something.
Yeah,
I can see that being like the concession. Yeah, like, I want to see both, but which one do I want to see more? Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just really wish that this movie did a lot better than it did, than it has been doing. So I'm hoping that it'll be like the Wild Robot and sort of like slowly inch its way up there.
We'll see. Maybe if people, especially people waited to.
The Wild Robot was so good. It was so good. It was probably like one of my top 5 movies of the year last year, and I was shocked at how few people went and saw it. But it like slowly crept up there throughout its entire run. So I'm hoping that maybe How to Train Your Dragon does the same thing. I don't know. Especially when it goes to streaming and people have to buy it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. Like I said, you know, it's like when people, like, especially if there's like spending, like, you know, money for multiple tickets, like to take their family, and they're like, well, this movie's coming out and this movie's coming out, and we only, like, you know, can't afford to go to both movies, or, you know, don't have time to go to both movies. So which one do we want to see more? And, you know, Lilo and Stitch as a Disney property is probably more well known than How to Train Your Dragon. You know, it's like, you know, it's at least, like, you know, like for most people, especially kids. So, like, they're gonna do that, and I feel like, unfortunately, it's just like poor timing of release, basically, for How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Yeah, the article goes on to say, really quickly before I stop sharing this, it says the reported budget for How to Train Your Dragon is $150 million. So this new domestic total pushes it even further past that number, in addition to helping it break a franchise record. However, the movie still needs to climb higher globally if it's going to be anything but the lowest grossing installment of the franchise worldwide. So I don't know. I wish it was doing a lot better. I do. I really do. I wish it was doing
Maybe
a lot
if it
better
inch,
than it
maybe
is.
if it inches closer, like once it like reaches streaming and people are willing to spend the money then to see it or to
Yeah.
watch it, it might generate the hype the sequel needs, like How to Train Your Dragon 2 will need for when that gets adapted.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
Yeah.
either way, How to Train Your Dragon is totally worth your time. It is totally worth your attention, animated or live action. If you want to watch the animated and then the live action, I think it's worth it. I loved it. I love all of the How to Train Your Dragon movies, and I was really excited for this new one for the live action. I haven't been friendly to live action movies, and I was 100% going to be incredibly critical of this How to Train Your Dragon live action movie. And I think I was pretty critical of it, especially with the race swaps and everything going into it. Because I didn't like how they changed Rough Nut. I didn't like how they changed Astrid. I didn't like how they changed what's the other one's name? Oh my
Fish
gosh.
Legs, they race swapped him,
Fish
didn't
legs. Thank you. Yeah, Fish Legs. I didn't like how they changed Fish Legs. So I was definitely going into this incredibly critical, and I left with a smile on my face. So I like it. I wish it was doing a lot better than it is, but yeah.
I think for Megan 2, I think maybe might have a saving grace for when it comes to streaming.
Perhaps. I hope so. I definitely when it comes to streaming, I'm for sure buying it. When it releases on Blu-ray, I'm for sure buying this movie and just adding it to my collection. Yeah.
So,
all right.
But anyway, chat, that's all we have for this evening. And like I said, I was talking to Steph, and that is next week would normally be on her channel, but since I'm going to be watching a wrestling event, the all-women pay-per-view, all-women wrestlers pay-per-view that I have zero hype for, but I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch it anyway. Is next Sunday, so Steph can choose to do whatever she wants. She can continue to harass Disparu and Peak. You can do another stream, but I will be unavailable since I will be watching. I'll be watching. I think I got all the super chats, Sonic Jade.
We might get a longer Peak stream. That would be cool.
So yeah, so I will be watching the All Diva pay-per-view basically that I have pretty much zero hype for.
Disparu won't be like keeping an eye on the time. It's so hilarious how he's like, it's almost time for your stream.
Like,
he's keeping a better eye on the time than I am.
Yeah, I came in like, you have 15 minutes, right? And you're like, yes, Mara.
It was a new section. We had finally made it to the new section, Mara. I didn't want to end it.
It only took you 8 days in the game.
Yeah, we finally made it to a new section, and then I was like, dang it. But I died anyway, so.
Yeah, but here it is. Since I saw that.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that was close. Mara. Oh no! What is happening?
Oh my god, are you okay?
Mara, what channel is the stream on?
Mine!
We need those robots.
I told you what I would do if I had one of those. Because I know you'd be watching. I know you'd be watching.
Listen, that robot, I think. Hold on, let me double check for it.
I will walk around my room naked. I know you'd be looking.
Hold on, let me check. If it's on there. That robot is on my wish list.
Thank you,
all
Jody.
right. That robot is on my wish list. It's on my Amazon wish list. I have 2 versions of it on my wish list. Like I want Mara to stalk me. I want her in my house.
I'll be following your dogs around. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be following your dogs around. Like, here, doggy,
put it on your throne.
I'll do it. I'll put it on my throne. Someone gives it to me. Yeah. Cool.
It'd be so funny. Like I want those. Dude, I would make daily videos of Mara just hanging out with me, just chilling, and she would do the same. Like I want one of those robots. I want one for all of my friends. Like I want a bunch of I want a robot army in my house of like my friends just waking up in their robot body and being like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Steph?" Like, I just wanted like a fleet of robots in my house. That would be so funny.
So yeah, it is kind of expensive, Terra Crystal. It can be kind of expensive. But anyway, chat. So yeah. So no Talk Nerdy next week. All right. So Steph will decide what she wants to do. I'll be watching, I think it's called Evolution. Basically, I think that's what the pay-per-view event is called, Evolution. But anyway, before I give my outro and where you can find me this week, Steph, let everybody know where they can find you. And all that
My nerdy home everywhere. I'll do my intro, outro because I said it all at the beginning. But all of the Ironheart reviews are coming this week, so I'm combining episodes 4 and 5 into one video, and then episode 6 and my overall thoughts are going to be in a separate video. Plus, I'm going to see the new Superman movie on Tuesday, and I will have a review out as well on that night. So I'm going to go watch it, come home, make a review, and let you know my thoughts on the new Superman movie. I'm kind of looking forward to that. But after that, just nerdy news and some Mario Kart World gaming streams with the chat, because I need help. I need to get better at that game.
All right, chat. As for me, I'll be doing primarily gaming streams this week and a reading stream beginning tomorrow, since I figured out how to triple stream. Basically, I broke down and got the the restream package where you can stream to 3 channels at a time, and I figured out how to do that through OBS today. I'll be playing Silent Hill 2 beginning tomorrow, so come check that out. I don't exactly know what time, but I will post it up on YouTube, so look for it tomorrow.
What happened? Is that my computer, or did she do something? Is that me?
I was talking to someone, and I didn't want to be yelling in my microphone.
Mara, tell your boyfriend that we are streaming. All right, be like, get out of here, bitch.
I'll do that next time. Anyway, so what was it? Silent Hill 2. I'll be playing that tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Because on Tuesday I'll be doing a reading stream. I think I'm on chapter 6. Basically, I think I'm on chapter 6 of The Two Towers. So I will be returning to that Tuesday evening, about 8 p.m. or so Eastern. And so Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be the Silent Hill 2 gaming streams, because Friday I said I would be on another person's stream about 8 p.m. Eastern. So when that becomes official, I'll say what that is, basically. But I said it'd be available then, so I'll be on another stream Friday evening. And then I might stream Saturday afternoon, thereabouts or so, but we'll see. We'll see, either Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, some Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I heard that's getting remake 2. I have not played the original of either game, so I'm coming in basically full-on Silent Hill noob, so I have no idea what to expect. So I'll be streaming it beginning tomorrow on my Kick, Twitch, and YouTube channel. So come hang out then. And I might break down and do a video of that Screen Rant article about Rings of Power. Desperately wanting more of that shit show. But anyway, take care, chat. Have a good rest of your day or evening. I did it, Steph. Look, I played it.
You rampant slag.
2 times you were talking over it. You 2 times you were talking over it while I played it.
It didn't even pop up for me on Streamlabs.
Okay, well, there it
on StreamYard.
Okay.
That's crazy. It didn't pop up for me on StreamYard. I had no idea that you even played it.
I played it
twice. That is insane. I didn't know it did that.
Anyway, but there it is. I did it. I saw your private
Why
chat.
didn't it come up for me on StreamYard?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea, but Tony's confirming. I played it twice earlier.
I'm yelling at Mara in all caps.
She's yelling at me in the chat.
chat.
On and on and on. You're gonna play the video, and I'm like, bitch, I played it twice.
I didn't even hear it. I didn't know she did. That's insane that it didn't come up for me.
Anyway, so now I have that.
You talked over it. I didn't even see it.
Yeah. So now I have that clip, as well as the an intro one with the robots. So yeah, so that like moving
Yay!
forward, we will have our robot clips and the rampant slag.
Rampant
clip.
slag. That is the best clip ever.
Yeah. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday's also main event. Okay, then maybe a stream in the afternoon. So we'll see.
I am not Daniel.
Anyway.
I'm far from it. I didn't
Yeah.
even know what heels to Jesus meant.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that clip too, basically. So take care,
Far
everyone.
from it. Oh.
Yeah, take care, everyone. We will see you in about 2 weeks on Steph's channel, and don't worry, I will remind her. That we are not having it next week, and it'll be on her channel in 2 weeks. So take care, stay safe, and hope you don't have hangovers from the July 4th celebrations. Peace.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.